Now, the National Weather Service is using terms such as catastrophic damage as the storm takes aim again at the borderline of Texas and Louisiana. Here's a look at those storms as they track their way to the north and east from earlier this evening, tracking at about 35 to 40 miles per hour, producing a lot of lightning, but also large hail. You'll notice that yellow and orange as it moves just to the west of Crater Lake. That's where we saw hail diameters of 1.5 inches. And David, the air quality is definitely one of our top concerns, but I want to really kind of show you this image of the GOES 17 satellite. It does a great demonstration of showing those easterly winds pushing all of that smoke from those fires through the Cascades over the valley locations and even out along the coast as we continue to be buried under that thick smoke. And Sean, this has really been an electric storm from the beginning when it started to kind of fire up right around 6 o'clock or so. And even at this hour, the lightning still wide through the valley locations as it tracks its way from the south to the north. Smoke continues to eclipse much of western Oregon skies as the smoke, haze, and ash continues to rain down. I'm outside of the KVAL studios right now. Just really wanted to give you a closer look of exactly how thick all of the smoke still is. The last little bit of rain that was falling over the Eugene area just now starting to wrap up, but that's not the last of it. Here's a look at a time lapse, just kind of demonstrating exactly what we've seen not only today, but what we are going to continue to see. I want to go ahead and turn our attention to the map and show you exactly where that tornado touched down. Here's the Portland metro area, just to the north and west. Here's St. Helens. As the system tracked its way through just after lunchtime hour, that's where that quick spin-up tornado did happen. Valley, where we picked up pea-sized hail through the early evening hours as the skies opened up from above, and that's something that is now quickly winding down. But I want to take us back in time to earlier this evening, specifically Douglas County. That's where we saw the brunt of the severe thunderstorm warnings. Ping-pong ball-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and frequent lightning was something that we had to contend with. So with this onset of heat, we need to limit our time outside during those peak heat hours. Drink plenty of water, wear that sunscreen, and if you are out and about, wear the light-colored and loose-fitting clothing on top of that. Well, I have a confession. Every once in a while, I'll be tagged on Facebook by my mom in a photo. I'm like, no, I wasn't there. And she has my head on a stick that she totes around and takes pictures with me.
I love that. That's awesome.
That is
we need to see that.
Got to introduce Smokey here. We've been having a lot of fun. Very active kitty. Thanks, Maria. It's time now for Pet of the Week. Our photographer, Barry Thompson, went out to Green Hill on Friday and introduces us to our new furry friend, Bella. Well, we're definitely still having a lot of fun here at the Fred Meyer on West 11th for the KVAL Can Do Food Drive. You still got a little bit more than an hour left to show up here, and there's so many different ways that you can help donate and help our community members in need. This just goes to show that we need to all brush up on our tornado safety moving through the next several days. Definitely want to take shelter in the interior sections of your home. If you have a basement, that's going to be, of course, the safest place. But how does the rain actually clear out all of that smoke and haze? Well, watch closely. As those raindrops fall through all of that particulate matter, it grabs it, drags it down to the surface, and that eventually will clear out our skies. The reason for the extreme fire potential is all due to those easterly winds. As they come down out of the hills of the Cascades, they really kind of compress. It heats up, dries up, and speeds up, and that's exactly where we see our wind speeds for the next several hours. To give us some truly spectacular shows across the southern Willamette Valley over the past month or so. But what's actually causing the development of a dust devil? Well, it comes down to microscale meteorology. First, we look at the sunshine that heats our warm surfaces, and warm air, it likes to rise. And when we get that rising action, it's also pulling in the heat from the surrounding areas, and eventually we get the surface low pressure system that starts to develop. It gets a bit of a spin, and just like a ballerina that closes her arms in tight, it spins quicker and quicker, and that's what's able to pick up a lot of that dust and sand high up into our atmosphere, and that's why the dust devils start to form across our parched landscape. Now, winds change within moments' notice. They've really kind of shifted over the day from the north to the northeast at this hour, anywhere from about 5 to 10 miles per hour. But the valleys definitely act like lungs, breathing in and out through the daytime and overnight hours due to the valley and mountain breezes. So during the day, the sunshine definitely starts to heat up the surface. The air starts to rise, can help push fires up the hillside. But once the cooler air starts to settle in, it dips back into the valley floor, and that can push those wildfires back into that location. And our water year, when you kind of look back to October 1st of 2019, at least in our local area, we're talking about nearly a 2-foot deficit of water for this year. And this is something that we kind of have been seeing repeat all across the western half of the country with these drier kind of different changes coming about. So maybe this is potentially our new normal. Look at some of the damage done this morning in the Eugene Springfield area as a powerful fall storm moved across Oregon. That storm caused downed trees and power outages for thousands of people across Lane County and the central and south coasts. And snow covered Baker City this morning. This was the first big snowfall of the season for eastern Oregon. And of course, we did see a lot of damage across western Oregon due to those strong winds. I've got just a few images sent in from our viewers.
I didn't see sunshine.
They did. We have little eyes everywhere here across western Oregon, and it was kind of a tale of two cities, or maybe a tale of two forecasts across western Oregon. To the north, we saw the rainy conditions through the Eugene Springfield area. To the south, Roseburg, sunny skies. So really a big difference across our area, but nonetheless, temperatures were on the mild side and we'll start to equal out these conditions over the next several days. Well, all day long she's been telling me, hey, I want it to snow here, so can I have a little bit of snow?
Yay!
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you.
Now, of course, I got a big mess to clean up, but we did see some. But why have we been seeing the skies turn red and orange? Well, it all has to do with what the smoke filters out. So it does not filter in the green, the blues, the violets, but it does the reds, oranges, and yellows.
2024. That's just around the corner.
That
Are you
really
ready?
is.
That's just around the corner, Josh.
I think all of us will be ready just for 2020 to be over. Let's
so
just get to
too.
2024. But you've been asking for moon pictures to kind of help segue. I can only give you what the people are giving me.
Which is?
Which is a beautiful sunset photo. Hey, that's kind of close to the moon.
It looks like the moon, but it's actually the sun.
It's actually
Do not
the
be
sun.
deceived.
Winchester Bay, Debbie Ticktamir sent this in. If you've got a moon photo, send it our way because Sean wants to see it. KVAL.com/chime in. And just get ready for the cooler temperatures tomorrow, but this weekend it will be hot.
All right.
Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Cozart.
This is a sight that we do not typically get to see in the state of Oregon. There's a tornado touched down just outside of St. Helens, Oregon. That's to the northwest of Portland. The National Weather Service confirming this tornado, but just look at all of that debris flying into the air, tree limbs. We did see some damage with this system as well. Kind of hard to actually make out that condensation funnel extending from the clouds to the ground. That's what actually gives us that tornado title, but nonetheless, definitely a very ominous sight to the north and west of our location. I want to go ahead and turn our attention to the map and show you exactly where that tornado touched down. Here's the Portland metro area, just to the north and west. Here's St. Helens. As this system tracked its way through just after lunchtime hour, that's where that quick spin-up tornado did happen. Now, the reports that we're getting in is some roof damage of a home. 2 other buildings were also damaged due to large limbs falling on them, and we're still waiting the official rating from the National Weather Service as they have crews out on the scene surveying that damage, but I'm anticipating it to be an EF0 tornado, which typically has wind speeds of 65 to 85 mile-per-hour winds within that cyclone. A different story, though, to Oregon's high country. A winter wonderland over the SANTIAM Pass at 4,700 feet. Difficult to actually make out where the road is there with that latest update. Of course, travel going to be very cautious and slow going as we're almost seeing whiteout conditions near the Willamette Pass at 5,100 feet. That's why the National Weather Service has issued a winter weather advisory seen in the purple through the Cascades. This lasts all the way into Wednesday morning as our snow accumulations are once again going to be piling up to nearly 7 inches in SANTIAM Pass, just the same in Mount Bachelor. I can hear all of the ski resorts rejoicing right now with the Willamette Pass anticipating just over 6 inches of additional snowfall. And the snow machine continuing to turn, at least for the Cascade passes through Thursday. We're going to see some drier conditions for our Wednesday, but it drops back down to that 3,000-foot level just in time for our weekend. With a live look over Spencer Butte on this Tuesday evening. The sky's not only darkening from the sun setting so early, but also the clouds that continue to roll into our region with splash and dash shower possible through the Willamette Valley. You'll notice, though, over the Cascades where that green transitions to the blue, that is where we are seeing that heavy snowfall and even a little clap of lightning in far western sections of Douglas and Lane County from earlier this evening. Additional rainfall amounts going to be adding up to about 1/10 to potentially 2/10 of an inch. Greatest trace amounts will be found over the Cascades, but of course that will be falling in the form of snow. As we go ahead and break down our rundown, expecting to see those clouds and raindrops expected through the overnight hours, along with those snow showers in the Cascades. But there's a bit of clearing along the horizon. Wednesday evening may see a sliver of sunshine to poke through some of those thicker clouds. We'll start the day off early in the morning hours on Thursday with clear conditions, just for those clouds to roll back in as our next weather maker takes aim at western Oregon. You'll notice all of these yellows and oranges, an indication of once more heavy downpours anticipated for much of our forecasting area. All thanks to this low pressure system giving us those dark, rainy conditions today, and the snow in the higher elevations will continue to slide its way further to the east. High pressure replaces that, and you know what that means. It's going to really start to dry us out, but it's short-lived for our Wednesday, and we continue to keep that cold Canadian air diving its way further to the south. We're going to feel those colder temperatures tomorrow, upper 40s, low 50s. Not much of a change from where we were this time yesterday, with our Eugene Springfield 7-day forecast showing the heaviest amount of rain anticipated for Thursday, Friday. Highs in the upper 40s to the low 50s. Once we roll into the weekend, those rain chances staying pretty persistent, but temperatures slightly sitting above our average of 39 for those overnight lows. Coos Bay 7-day forecast, the rain heaviest Thursday into Friday, and we were going to continue to see that Saturday into Sunday with temperatures in the mid-50s. Roseburg 7-day forecast, slightly drier for our Veterans Day tomorrow. Then the rain returns with a vengeance Thursday, Friday. This is great news, though. We definitely need to see those rain showers persistent, just like we're expecting over the next 7 days. Well, lightning remains a deadly force of nature here in western Oregon. Now, June 21st through the 27th is Lightning Safety Awareness Week. Now, with the summer months already here, a look at what you need to know before you head out on Oregon's trails. Lightning poses one of the biggest threats to outdoor enthusiasts across western Oregon during the summer months. According to the National Weather Service, lightning kills nearly 20 people in the U.S. each year and severely injures hundreds more. Hikers should never seek shelter under trees, open fields, or on top of hills. If hiking in a group, spread out. That lessens the chances of the current running through all group members if one is actually struck. Now, the best line of defense is seeking shelter inside of a building or inside your vehicle. If that's not available, avoid wet or metal objects. Not because lightning is attracted to them, but because they make for great conductors. Now, another great tool to have in your arsenal is knowing your local weather forecast before setting off on those outdoor activities. And I'll have all that information coming up later in our show. Smoke is filling the sky in western Oregon as the Sweet Creek fire burns. Until now, there hasn't been a way to monitor air safety in all locations in Lane County. El Rapa explains what they're doing to change that.
We hit these fires hard, and we put them out quickly as possible to limit the fire size and limit the amount of smoke that goes into the air. Fire crews have been working around the clock to put an end to the Sweet Creek fire in western Lane County. Fire crews are at the tail end of a long and exhausting season. Wildfires can pose a threat to property, but the smoke produced threatens the air we breathe.
El Rapa, the Lane Regional Air Protection Agency, I'm out here today to install a commercial-grade air sensor to capture what the air quality is in this community so we can provide better public health guidance.
Hasn't been much large accumulations of smoke. We've had pretty good clearing, pretty good lift.
But officials want to see the science and the impacts. That's why El Rapa has been working to expand its reach with the Purple Air Network sensors since 2017.
We've installed many more from Oak Ridge to Cottage Grove to the Eugene Springfield area out to now Mapleton in a desire to expand our Purple Air Network in Lane County.
As for monitoring Mapleton's air quality in the future,
for our plans, the sensor will exist in Mapleton for the foreseeable future and will remain a resource to the local community.
Now, Mapleton's new air quality installation will also help during the winter months, checking in on pollutants trapped in the air during those colder months. You can monitor Mapleton's or any of El Rapa's air sensors right now by heading over to KVAL.com. We've gone ahead and provided that link. But conditions, and with the excessive heat returning this weekend, many of us head to the coast to cool off. But those cooler temperatures of Oregon's high country might have you heading east. I just recently got out there to show you a beautiful weekend getaway that will have you seeing snow instead of feeling that heat. Just a 2-hour drive east of Eugene, down the McKenzie Highway, is the D. Wright Observatory. Perched in the center of a vast field of lava stands the 93-year-old structure developed by the Willamette National Forest and built by the Civilian Conservation Corps Company in 1927. The wind howls in this tree-deprived landscape due to some of the youngest lava flows found in the U.S., covering nearly 65 square miles. This is a landscape photographer's paradise. The Three Sisters Peaks bears 17 glaciers, covering 2,257 acres, and is the largest glacial area this far south. But the snow is also the observatory's enemy. With an elevation of 5,325 feet at the peak of the McKenzie Pass, it's not accessible during the winter months. Need help naming the peaks? The observatory's got you covered. Small windows in the structure help spectators isolate and name the highest points. Cooler temperatures, thinner air, and stunning views might leave you catching your breath once you climb the stairs to the top of the observatory. There you'll find a compass to point you back in the direction of home. And David, you know what? It is so nice up there, cooler weather, and it's great for social distancing.
You know, I've lived here all my life, and it's one place you can take visitors, and they are just in awe.
Stunned, absolutely so.
It is beautiful. Thank you, Josh.
Well, the summer sizzle is here across western Oregon. We made it into the low 90s again today. Now as the air heats up, surfaces like cement and asphalt climb to dangerous levels. Here's a few tips you need to know before taking the dog on a walk. Many of us are out the door this summer with our four-legged friends, but pavement temperatures could pose a serious threat to our companions as the mercury climbs. Asphalt will typically trap in more heat than sidewalks due to darker colors absorbing more solar radiation, while lighter surfaces reflect it more. However, light-colored sidewalks can still warm to dangerous levels. With an air temperature in the low 80s, our asphalt is reading at nearly 150 degrees. Just to put that into perspective, it would only take 5 minutes for an egg to fry in these conditions. Western Oregon typically sees average temperatures ranging anywhere from the 70s to the 80s, but it's no stranger to the 90s. That means asphalt temperatures can range anywhere from 125 to 143 degrees, with air temperatures ranging from 77 to 87. Now there's an easy trick to help keep your four-legged friends safe on these hot surfaces. Place the back of your hand onto the surface. Leave it there for 7 seconds. If you're unable to leave your hand in that position, then it's too hot for your furry friends. Asphalt and other hot surfaces can trap heat in well past the peak heat hours of the day. The best time to walk your four-legged friends is early in the morning or late in the evening. And temperatures will continue to climb into the 90s the next week, and that means that paw injuries can occur much faster. I'll have all those details in my full forecast.